So our Studebaker truck here, we're going to do a little bit of work under the hood. Put a new air breather on it. I got to get a nut for that. But it's just an intake pipe from a Ford 5.9 F800, and then we just put a nice big K&N filter on there, and the job of that is to hide the computer in behind there. But the one thing I don't like, and it convinced them to change, is this rad in the front here. I pop the hood, the first thing you see is going to be this rad that is not in the main support, and it just looks like crap. So we're going to pull this one off, and we're going to put that one on there. I got to get some custom rad hoses. I don't need an overflow tank with that rad because it's got the tank at the top. So that's handy, because I was going to use this little can and put that right here as an overflow, which is what we would have had to do if we would have stuck with this rad. But I'm kind of aiming more for a brand new look under the hood and like an old look on the truck itself. So I don't think that can actually fits that well. So we're gonna swap that rad, see how we make out. Here we go. The problem with having the rad right here is this fan is in the way. So it's 1 7/16", I think. To get that off, best way to get it off, because the pulley spins, just take a hammer and just crack it. And then it should come right up. That's that. Sticking on budget, and just the wreckers are our best friends. We just grabbed a set of fans like this. A lot of vans have them because they're tight for space. And a lot of them, not everyone, you gotta try it, but if you hook them up backwards, they spin backwards, so it'll push air rather than pull air, which is exactly what we want. So here we go. So I got a big score at the hardware store. These fittings are about 1.25 inches for the top, and it needs to be 1.5 inches, and it's 1.5 inches at the bottom, and my hose needs to be 1.75 inches. Now these hoses line up pretty nice. So it's either get new hoses or put a little adapter on it. So luckily, the hardware store, these are so old they didn't even have them in the system anymore, so they just gave them to me. So I can solder that fitting right on there like that, and then that'll fit nice and tight in my hose here. And very quickly, problem solved. And same with the top, I just grabbed an adapter, so small end will slide almost right over top. I can just solder that on, and away we go. It's they're either copper or brass, these things. You see the shininess there. It is a lost art, see how I do with that. So to make this fitting fit, to start off with, you put a healthy dose of flux on there and make sure that you sand it off really good. I got a little gap to fill. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I put my vice grips down there, my crappy vice grips, because I know the solder is going to run down below it. I'm going to try it with a little propane torch first. If not, if that doesn't work, I'll have to go to my brazing rod. It's a much tighter fit. Let's try that. See how that does. So she's still plenty hot. You can see the solder goes nicely all the way around now. You know, there's a little bit of extra. We'll paint that, make that look pretty. Sand it off a bit, but I'm confident that that will seal. So let's try the bottom. So I'm just gonna get it a little warm at the top. I can't get it too hot because it's soldered on the bottom, and I'll ruin that solder. And I'm gonna try and bell mouth it a little bit just to open that up a bit, just with a screwdriver. I'm just dabbing some solder on it, and then just like that it'll get to the right temperature and the solder will drop down in between, then hopefully it'll stop. I think that's just about got her. If I keep it up, I'm gonna ruin the solder on the bottom, so here we go. Here's some fenders that I found out in the scrapyard behind the owner's place. I'm gonna cut this section out here and then use that as the steering column cover. See if I can bend something up. Here we go. So I cut these corners out of the scrap hood out of the Fleet Master, and then I just went into Windows Paint and cut it and paste some RT Baker, you guys know what the name is, and used my kindergarten skills and cut the letters out. Each one is on a different page so I can spread them apart until I find what fits good. I knew that about 4 inches was about what I wanted. And for spacing wise, I just took a airbrush and or paint can and just sprayed very lightly from far away to get the lettering on there. Now this is where I want it. I did this on purpose. Now I can punch it out from the back, and I just wrote this one on like that, and I just take a brass punch on a block of wood, and then I raise the lettering out like this, and then I'll buff the paint off afterwards. So, because this is where I want it, I want to do a stencil of it so that I don't get a letter backwards rather than just drawing it on the back, because once it's in there, can't change it. So now that I like this, I'm going to take these together to the right distance, and then I can just measure about how far down and how far from the sides and make sure that it's centered, and then airbrush it on again, fully knowing that I have to do it upside down. That's what it's going to look like. They are 2 pieces, but they're screwed together. Turn it around. And basically, that's it, with the B and the A being in between. And there we have RT Baker, the new name for the truck. Thanks guys for everybody who voted and commented on that, and this truck will forever be known as RT Baker. Okay, so we got our name kind of stamped out, debossed, and if you can see it real close, there's still little hammer marks in there, and it's not a super clean line. So next step is to take an air hammer. I mean, you don't have to do this, this is just what I'm doing. Take an air hammer and just kind of go around the outside. Once that's pretty smooth, sticking out nice, I take one of these flapper wheels. There's different grits, 40, 60, 80. Doesn't really matter, but what we want to do is just take those high points off. I'm happy with that. I have to make my B a touch bigger. Starting to get a nice little rusty looking finish on there. We really want to accelerate that. So hydrogen peroxide, you can buy that at any grocery store. I got about this much vinegar left in our perfect stainless spray bottle. We want to add some salt, a few tablespoons, about that much, and a bit more. Really doesn't matter, there's no real formula in it. This stuff makes metal rust. And then dump the peroxide in there. Fill her up. I'm going to keep a little bit in case I cut myself and have to forget what my last tetanus shot was. Anyway, take this, put it on there, mix it up nice and good, and spray away. Oh, you can see it getting dark right away. And just let that sit. Even the stuff running off is rusty. Alright, we're going to take this, just lay it outside in the snow and in the salt and in the wind and the rain and whatever else. It's almost springtime, so it should rust a little bit more. And then if you want to keep the patina going, just keep spraying more of the hydrogen peroxide solution on there, and until it is the way you want. It is important that if you want it to stop, to mix some baking soda together with water, spray that on, and that will neutralize the acid. And then from there you can clear coat it or do whatever you want. So here we go. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because you never know what you're going to see next week on Deboss Garage. If you like what you see, there's a lot of stuff happening to help support the channel. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.